Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. Well, I'm saying good morning because it's good morning here for me. Oh, no music this time. Looks like we're going acapella. So this is David Wright, aka Bishop Down, aka Jupiter James, the White Planetary Dog, kin number 10. And this is WPDKIN10, episode number 20. And I haven't done the episode for a minute. I guess how I'm putting these through. I would say I haven't done an episode in a minute for myself, so there's no schedule, as I'm on no schedule. And after episode 19, a couple of things changed. In my life. Excuse me. And in my life, all my spiritual, all my bodies, the bodies of life. But nothing major. I wouldn't call it a major thing, I met a person who seemed to be on the right track as to getting financial freedom and really running your own business, doing stuff like that. So I've been working with him for about maybe almost 2 weeks. I actually started working at my warehouse job. So I'm working for him, basically, and then setting up my company stuff as well. So I would be able to do the same things that he's doing, and making a lot more money, but also just being financially free, as well as the work schedule is free. I'm not saying you don't work. You work when you want. But the schedule's a lot is easier, and you work less hours, just depending on how many jobs you do. You may have to work. I've worked all day one day, but hey, that's not the first time I had to work all day. And then I've worked for 5 hours, or for 4 hours, made $100-some. So it's like, wow. And learning a lot of things about installations and kind of working when you don't have what you need. So just kind of like MacGyver shit. Fuck MacGyver, man. MacGyver was supposed to be black. Not white. Anyhow. Just having fun, just learning and building this relationship. Also, getting back to my meditations and balancing. I hadn't balanced for forever. It seemed like forever, but I'm getting back to it. I balanced yesterday. I'm gonna, continually focus on balancing for this whole month, for the rest of the month. I'm gonna get on a continual focus here and make sure I balance every day and meditate every day. Try to balance twice a day, but at least once a day I'm gonna balance and meditate every day for this whole month. Just kind of getting there. hopefully I can take it to like 3 months of straight balancing and meditation. But my goal is to get the first month in. So this lunar cycle has already started. It is the crystal moon cycle, which is the 12th moon cycle. And the 13th is the last one. I don't know the name of it, but this is the crystal moon cycle. It talks about cooperation. I think it's direct cooperation. And that's what I thought was really interesting, because I met this guy like when the moon cycle was ending, like as it was ending and then beginning. So you hear the noise in the background. That is, I'm on the expressway driving to go pick up my wife. It's Saturday. And you know me, I'm not really crazy about money, but I know I need money. Work. Again, living in society, you need money. So this is an opportunity to make more money. That's wonderful. That's great. It's a good thing, I just have to, make sure that I do get money. Because I'm not saying that this guy is not going to pay me, but what I am saying is I didn't sign any contracts with him at all. So I don't have a contract. It's just an agreement that we made together. And I am believing that the agreement that two men can make or make to each other still has some validity in this universe. Because I'm so much on this universal thing that I understand that it controls everything in the physical. Everything in the physical. I was told that if your blood is a RH positive blood, you can change your blood by the way that you think and the way that you use that spiritualness, because again, the spiritual controls the physical. So you can really change everything about yourself, because it was you who gave it to. It was you who gave the way that you look in the physical. Is you the one that gave yourself that image, that personification. Is all the manifestation of the spiritual realm. Kind of like something what when Morpheus in the Matrix movie was telling Neo how the way he looks like he does in the Matrix, because it was a projection of his own image of himself, right? Same shit, same concept anyway. I mean, that movie has a lot of shit in it, and yeah. So if you got some RH positive blood, you need to change over. You can do that. There's things you can do with your diet and stuff like that, and create it in a spiritual sense to manifest in the physical. So that's why I look at things now, because I look at everything from the spiritual side, and then I go into the other bodies, emotional and soul. The emotional, soul, physical, and all the rest of the stuff. So, I mean, that's what I do. It's like, I feel like when I do that sometimes, I feel like I'm kind of out of touch with the physical sometimes, because I want to raise my vibrational frequency, so I'm not so in tune to the physical. Like sometimes, I mess with the phone and it doesn't want to work. I touch it, it don't do nothing. I don't know if that's the phone just acting, or is that me getting on different frequencies. Like I said, I've been seeing a lot of different things in the light, looking at the stars and the moon and actually feeling something from them. Feeling an energy. Stop, look at a cat, it looks back at me, and all I have is love in my heart. I'm still working on this matrix thing, the red matrix. Before I start, I have to get my computer set up. So that's one of the things I know I got to do, so I can really dig down, and do some research. That's my excuse, though. That's my excuse for not bringing it to you guys yet. I need to still working on getting my stuff together. But it's coming. At this point, when you listen to this episode, and then you go back and look at episode 7 or episode 6, that was the last episode that I put out, episode 6, but I got 7 through 19. So I haven't even put those up yet. At this point, when you're listening to episode 20, I hadn't even put up episode 7 yet. So when you go back and look at episode 7 and all the other episodes, that was the gap. Okay, now so interesting enough. I'm looking at this little documentary they're talking about the European people and a few other different type of peoples. Or it's saying where the white people come from. I know it did one on that, where the white people come from. Here's another story of white people. They talked about how they were genetically created in a laboratory, like a real test tube baby, or laboratory test creation. And what they're talking about the gene of the Neanderthal DNA. They said that in the Neanderthal they found DNA of humans. Because the Neanderthal was a different species than the human. And they're saying that humans predated the Neanderthal, and that's how Neanderthal had human DNA in it. Because the story is told that humans made it with Neanderthals. That the humans made it with the Neanderthal to get a Caucasoid, right? A long hair, stringy hair, light skinned human, right? And the guy was saying on that if you made it two species together, it would be 50% one species and 50% another species. Now, that sounds like good logic to me. Because you're going to get half of either you're going to get half of one side or all of each side, right? That's what I like. So you're talking about percentages, right? So you want to make 100%, you add two things together, you get 50% one, 50% of the other. Unless one is stronger than the other, but still. See, unless one is stronger than the other. So the way I look at it is different. Instead of 50%, I would say you get 100% of both. You get 100% of both of them. So whatever percentage it is, you still get 100% of both of them. So if you were to trace back what's inside what was created from the two, you would get both of them would register. I don't really think it matters about percentages or anything like that, but both of them will register, but both of them will register in abundance. I mean, take for example, the fact that we are part of we are part of the God particle, or I call it the God spark. Like, we are a part of that. We have that in us, and even if it was a tiny, tiny, tiny seed that we have, or a tiny, tiny part that we have in us, it's still 100% of that part. It doesn't break down. You don't break things down like that. They say you try to break things down, there's no breakdown. When you get a piece of something, that you get all of it. So if you get a piece of pie, all the ingredients that were put in that pie, that one slice of pie, you get 100% of the ingredients. Not, 15%. You get the whole thing. That's like when you mix, colors. Even if you put a lot more orange in there, a lot more orange than your blue, you know what I mean? You're gonna have a different color, a different shade of color, but you still get all of the orange and all of the blue. All of it's in there, 100%, all the time. It's just the amount you put in there. But you still get 100% orange and 100% blue. You just may put more orange in there. The shade is different, but it's still got 100% blue in it. And that's like, even if you do it so much where there's only orange, you still put the damn blue in there. So you may not see the blue from your eyes, but physically it's in there. So we have, that potential to be the God that we were created from. We definitely have that potential. I mean, that's what we are. It's just how we utilize it. Now, so if the Neanderthal had a percentage of human DNA in them, well, that just lets you know that if humans have the Neanderthal DNA, even a small percentage of it, that just lets you know that humans and Neanderthals came together. Now, I don't know what they created. You know what I mean? I don't know what happens when you mix human DNA with a Neanderthal. I don't know. What do you get? Do you still get human? Are they still human? Well, they are human and Neanderthal. They are both. And see that, and then the thing, like with they're talking about the RH. Now, RH blood comes from animals. So if you have RH blood, that RH DNA, then you are both human and animal. So the guy talked about them doing experiments creating the Caucasoid, right? So however the Caucasoid was created, whatever they put, it had everything of both. So if they took monkeys and created a different species, then it's got both human in there. And then there's actually, they said they found that there's human DNA in dogs too as well, which is real interesting. Why would human DNA be in a damn dog? And that got me kind of thinking too, like, why would you put human DNA in a dog? Or why would you find human DNA in a dog? I mean, a dog is an animal. See, humans aren't animals. So that's the thing. A human being is not an animal, but they may have been mixed with animals to make other different humans. Because, like, if you find that the rhesus DNA is the DNA from an animal. Whatever animal it was, I don't know. They say it was a monkey, it was a rhesus monkey, right? So they know that's where that DNA comes from. So if those DNAs got mixed together and they got human DNA in them, then something happened where those two were mixed together to create another whatever it was. And it could be some humans that are, maybe they're not entirely human, they're mixed with an animal and a human being. So then your question is, what was a Neanderthal? And then you have to question, say, well, what is a Neanderthal? What was? No, you can't say was, because Neanderthals, they still exist today. That's my wife. Yeah, so you have to ask the question, what is a Neanderthal? Because if a Neanderthal... Okay, yeah, well, okay, because go back to what I'm saying now. Let's say Neanderthal... Yeah, let's say, like, what is Neanderthal? What is a Neanderthal? Because you're saying that in some humans, mostly non-white humans, they found traces of Neanderthal DNA, like 2% or something like that, right? So what was a Neanderthal? What is a Neanderthal? Was a Neanderthal a cross? Was it an animal? Was it some kind of like humanoid thing that wasn't a human? Don't know. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, what is that? I need to let my wife know I'm here. Hold on, let me do some texting here. 1 second. 1 second. Maybe I can text. I don't see my wife. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go here. What's that mean? What's that mean? We can text. We can text. Text. We can text. Here. Okay. I think I got it. Alright, let me pull some more. Yeah, so you gotta start asking questions. You know, what was a Neanderthal? Why do dogs have human DNA? And a human, where does a human come from? And where did all these other things come from? I mean, you heard stories of like dog people, like Yetis and stuff like that, and Bigfoots. Like all these different things you've heard about before, you know. And he said something real interesting in there. He was like, you know, dog people existed a long time ago, and they still exist today. I mean, when you look at the Egyptian hieroglyphs, you see a guy named Anubis. He's got a dog's head. His head is a dog, right? He's got a head of a dog, the body of a human. And then you see, you know, you got the one with the eagle's head and the bird's head. I'm like, damn, but that's kind of interesting because you get one guy with a dog head and other people are just regular. They don't have that shit. So were the Egyptians already experimenting with gene manipulation? with crossing and splicing shit. I mean, I know that's when Inhotep was cutting open people and shit and fucking with everything. Because before, maybe they didn't do that, but he made it known that's what he was doing. Who knows, man? Maybe that's when they got into all that crazy shit. You know, like I said, gene splicing and splicing shit and creating all kind of stuff. Because why would he have a head of a dog? That's the question. Why would he have a head of a dog? Was that just some kind of ritual thing that they try to tell you? Or that's some real shit? You know what I mean? And then you look at wolves and you look at dogs. And you look at wolves and you look at dogs. And wolves and dogs, they are not the same species. They don't come from each other. A wolf is totally separate from a dog. Like a wolf cannot mate with a dog. Or can it? I've heard of wolf dogs before, but I don't think they mate with. And that's something to look up. Can a wolf mate with a dog to make an offspring? Because like in the species, if you are of the same species, you can mate. But if you're not of the same species, you can't mate. I think it goes like that. So like all the humans or whatever the other things are, the Neanderthals or their different stuff, I don't know how that works. I gotta really research that. That's another thing I'm gonna do on the Red Matrix. I'm gonna research some of that stuff about gene manipulation and species and mating things and stuff like that, because it's just interesting. Because if we're humans and we're all the same species, but you know we're all different humans, different types of humans, different species, but we still mate, right? So that's something to look at too. And then really look at it and see, you know, who's supposed to be the human and who's not. And about blood stuff and things like that. But that's what I'm going to do some research on. That's another one of the red matrices, so we're going to really get into do some research and stuff like that. Find out what the hell's going on. Or do the best that we can. Alright, wait for my wife, so I am going to sign off for this episode. Just some things to think about, though. Like I said, and know that you are a part of the all creator, the all creator, the creator of everything, and that you created all this stuff. And there's beauty out there. There's love. Nature's full of love. People like nature's cruel. No, nature's not cruel. Anything that's shit like that, that is unnatural. Anything that's going around killing people and swallowing up people, all that shit is unnatural. That shit don't work like that. It's unnatural. It is unnatural. It is only the things that men do that turn things natural and full of love, the evil stuff. I mean, that's just like, okay, you got a volcano that erupts, right? Okay, you know the volcano erupts, or whatever, blah, 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 lava comes down, whatever. You know, that is a natural thing that happens, right? But when you build your houses underneath the damn mountain, and then the lava comes and burns you, you say that the nature is evil. But you're the one that damn put the house under there, and you're the one that didn't get out of the damn way. I mean, that's from ignorance. The nature didn't do that on purpose to kill you and melt you. You know what I mean? You did that to yourself by building your shit there. You know what I mean? That's just like you have a house, and you build a house underneath a whole bunch of damn trees, and the wind blows, and the tree breaks, and it falls on your damn house. Well, whose fault was that? You built your house under the damn trees. And now nature is cruel. Nature's killing people. No, nature doesn't do anything intentionally to kill anyone. It's the what man has done to say that nature's evil. I mean, people say, oh, lions are going around killing people and stuff like that. Well, if you built your camp, in the lion's area, in his domain, I mean, and then you're fucking with his food, I mean, you have to expect that, because you're fucking with nature. Why in the world would you need to be surfing on a board? What does that have to do with anything? So you're surfing on a board in an area full of sharks, and the shark's not trying to kill you. The sharks are trying to see what the hell you are. So he bites your ass because he may think you're a fish or something, because he doesn't know. But why the hell are you out there on the water surfing anyway? What the fuck did that have to do with anything? What the hell is a surf supposed to do? That's just some stupid shit. You know what I mean? That's what I look like. It's just like dumb stuff that people do, and then they want to blame nature, say nature's evil and cruel. Like, no. Don't think so. If anything's cruel, it's the mentality of the non-human that's going around destroying everything. Killing birds, shooting birds for sport, killing animals for sport, destroying habitats, making the environment polluted so the animals eat the shit, and they're crazy too, running through the streets, getting hit by cars because their psyche is thrown off by the damn bullshit food they eat. Supposedly the ozone layer is going, but it's not, the ozone layer is not going, it's a chemical that they're spraying in the air every day that's limiting the amount of sunlight that's coming in. You know what I mean? So we should be getting, super sunlight. Then the percentages have gone down because of the chemicals that they spray every day. So we don't get the full effects of the sun. And that's an attempt to keep us from getting to our full potential, because you're not getting all the rays of the sun. And the tornadoes and earthquakes, and hurricanes and stuff like that. I believe that's all a product of men. I don't think hurricanes come like that all the time, and tornadoes and shit like that. I think it's the environment that they live in, and then trying to manipulate the weather and shit like that. Yeah. Alright, so those are my thoughts for today. I just want to say I love you very much. Thank you for everything. I think the universe and the God particle and the God spark and continue to evolve and grow. Alright, peace.